what I feel like is the most important thing here is that your head and your heart and your gut are all in alignment. Do they all talk to each other? Does this feel like a full alignment phase for you? Is your head saying, I want this, but your body saying, I'm not attracted to it, you know? Or
Yeah.
your feeling gut body is like, that's really not going to work out for me. So it takes all of those in alignment to really attract the person that you're looking for in the space. Hello, gorgeous.
Well, hi, my sweet friend. How are you?
I'm I'm interesting. I would have to say I've definitely been on a rest phase, and this is like my first pickup after last this weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, what were you up to this weekend?
It was kind of like a my body was going through some things, but mostly it was like we're not doing anything. That's all.
Yeah, I bet. I've had a lot of anxiety recently, and I have to keep talking myself off the ledge, almost saying like this either this isn't my anxiety or this too shall pass because there really isn't anything majorly pressing. So I wonder if that was kind of hitting you too.
It could have been. Yeah, no, it feels like there was a lot going on collectively. Not that I like want to actively jump into it so that I get like too into that, not my own internal process. But definitely feel like there was a lot of like chaos energy out and about, and it felt like getting whapped by something that you can't really control,
Mm.
maybe in anxiety. I felt a lot like I needed to stop and settle in with some emotional processes, but also didn't want to be out and about with other people.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. Although I was out and about with a lot of people, and it was Oktoberfest in our town, so so I was around a ton of people, and it's really interesting how, I feel like I'm getting better at kind of creating more of an insulation barrier so I don't take
Sure.
everybody else's stuff. So yeah, I think that's sort of key these days because I think a lot of people are purging and releasing. They
Sure.
don't even realize that they're doing it, but just maybe even just sort of astrologically or some of the energies coming in or whatever it is, right? Like we're purging as a collective, letting go because so much is coming in that we have to be on a solid foundation. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to accept all the new stuff that's coming in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would say above anything, it's what is your intuition telling you right now that you need to do?
Yeah.
Right. And can you trust that? And can you allow your body to do what it needs to do too? Whether mine was rest and yours was kind of out. And prior to that, mine was like out and I was okay with the energies and vibes that were out. But this last weekend was like, nah, I just want to sleep. Thanks.
I'd love to be able to sleep through the night. I'm not able to sleep through the
Oh,
night. I'm having those issues again.
oh, okay. Okay. Are you having dreams?
Yes, but I can't remember all of them. Although I did have a dream of this one particular guy, but it didn't end well in the dream. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, clearly I have some relationship things that I'm still processing and working through in my dream. So I don't know if that's fear or what.
And just to bring it up with relationships, connections, co-creations. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, that's friendship wise
Uh-huh.
good. Although I do have some things that I'm still struggling with. And honestly, it's really when I started meddling in my son's life, maybe. He had some things that were going on with his buddies and trying to play referee and all that kind of stuff. And that sometimes that kind of weighs on me. Like if anything, that's the heaviest that's on me right now is trying to deal with my son and sort of the things that he goes through with his social group. But in terms of my own social group, I feel like I'm strengthening bonds and really making some like deeper connections, which is really lovely. We're having to say goodbye to some people that we're very, very close to, but strengthening bonds in other areas now that we're back in Montana and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of like ebb and flow that's kind of happening. It's not all just one-sided. It's things coming, things going, things moving, things shaking. Yeah.
So, so like a pretty consistent in and out and deepening connections.
Yeah, yeah, which I'm happy about, obviously. That's good, but those are all friendship relationships. So don't talk to me about romantic ones because those relationships are far different.
I want to say heading into the beginning of this month because we were heading out in, like out and into out of and into which was a Libra period, which I always kind of feel I don't generally go, oh my gosh, this is astrology. I have to follow that. I'm obviously my own internal process, but at the beginning of this month in meditation, it was definitely clear like, how are your relationships? How are your partnerships? Who do you want to co-create with? Who's gonna be let go? And I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be a hot topic.
Yeah, let's dive into it. Where do you want to start?
Well, we talked about friendships a little bit. I'd have to say that my friendships are definitely like getting deeper and deeper, the ones that I have. I have a lot shift out too. So I'm opening up the space for more connections that are in an equal format. Like I want to play with you on equal base. You have just as every part to play in this universe as I do, and I want I want to see how we can play together, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of still coming into a place of where I'm excited to do like projects, like community projects, or work with other people in groups, but I don't think it's quite there yet.
No, I agree with you. I think that there's going to absolutely be a time for that. And we're going to know it's going to hit us so hard in the face when the timing is right, which means we're still kind of in that interim period. I've talked about being in the interim period. I think collectively we might be in that interim period as
Right.
well.
Right. Yep. Yep. It's like the in-betweens where you're like
Yeah.
in influx and flow, and you're like, what the fuck is this? And you're like, oh shit, I got a deeper friendship, right?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
it's kind of knowing who is your community when we move
for
into
sure.
this next. So it's sort of, there's a
Yep.
little bit of a time to do a litmus test, if you will. Like
Okay.
identify who's truly in your camp now while
Yep.
things are still status quo. Because when things change, you're going to want to know who your true friends are and who your true community is.
And I would circle that right there. You're seeing right now who's the true, who's gonna vibe with you, who's
Yep.
gonna be a continuous vibe with you. And also there's doorways opening for more groups of people that you might feel like you co-align with, but you're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
But there's doorways to it, you know? So I would definitely get a feel for that in your system and see like what is true, what is not, because it's gonna be revealed right now, especially this month.
Yeah, well, what's true for me is just really finding folks that I can be authentic and kind of share a little bit more of my true heart and self. And so that's been really interesting. And like I said, it's hard to say goodbye to certain people and being open to new dynamics because, in my dream, I think I was really playing out my fears of being ready to move into a new romantic relationship. So there's fear, there's excitement, there's bringing in sort of, who's like the next group of folks that I'm going to really be strongly connected to, and all of that as we just kind of usher into what's next in our world.
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally a authentic space. And I know for me and my friends that I have, I'm extraordinarily authentic. There is no me smalling myself or putting a mask on or anything else, just like I am today with you. It's I want to co-create with you as I am. Let's see how we can do this. Let's see how we fit together, and let's go deep into some spaces that we haven't gone in before.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to kind of sort of go into some uncharted territory with you. So, how do we start? Like,
I'd say we're probably doing it, but it's going to get deeper.
yeah.
I would say it's going to get deeper because from a very physical human consciousness level, our bodies are also learning how to process with each other, learn new frequencies, learn like new earth type of frequencies, if you want to call it that. And it's learning how to open space so that we can work with each other in a way that's beneficial. Right. So our bodies are kind of like doing the thing. So as a lot as we're going to be doing it with that. So it's only going to get deeper and deeper on here, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think the more that you get to know yourself, I was going to say the more that we all get to know ourselves, the deeper we allow someone to know us. And I think that that's that really beautiful piece of partnership, companionship, like
Mhm.
being truly seen by others. But you have to see yourself first. And if you've got a mask on, then you're going to wonder why we got superficial friendships. Or if you've got a mask on, you're going to wonder why, there's not that deeper connection there that you wish you had, that stronger bond. So I think it's first taking that mask off, that superficial mask of like, who am
Mhm.
I expected to be? Who do I want to portray myself as into the world? And instead be, here's who I am, love it or leave it. I am okay
Exactly.
with either one, but You have to know who I am.
Right, right, right. And it's a good kind of testing period too, as you're displaying yourself all that out there entirely. And even as uncomfortable as that might be, as you're kind of learning to navigate that, if you're not getting the connection base that you want, or you're not getting a consistency with somebody, or somebody you want to even dive deeper with, look at yourself, see how deep that might be, and take all your masks off. Get a little crazy, be yourself.
Yeah. And that's why
Please.
I think that the energy work is just amazing because if you see patterns in your life, regardless of, what category those patterns show up, but, certainly I've seen a lot of similar repeating patterns within relationships.
Yep.
And I took a break and not wanting to bring anyone else into my world because I was concerned of bringing the similar repeating pattern over and over and over again. And it's not like I've got, there's bad people out there in the world because there's amazing people out there in the world. It's just a matter of sending out the right vibration for that right person to come in and connect with it and for me to be attracted to that person because
That's a big.
sometimes I have to look at what my picker was picking, right? And it wasn't always picking exactly what my heart desired. So my vibration was sending out one signal, but my heart was kind of, desiring something else. So there was conflict, and no wonder I was finding conflict in relationships. So having to resolve that conflict between my head heart connection and what I'm sending out to the world. And I really spent a lot of time, and I've worked with you on this quite a bit, is
Yep.
really identifying like what is that signal that I'm sending out because that's who's going to come in. And so really resolving that. And I'm super excited to see who comes in next. Although my dream still has fear because it's still saying, oh, things won't work out as you had hoped. But I know that that's just a fear and I've got to work through that.
Right. And I would just say, like, just like you said, what I feel like is the most important thing here is that your head and your heart and your gut are all in alignment. Do they all talk to each other? Does this feel like a full alignment phase for you? Is your head saying, I want this, but your body saying, I'm not attracted to it,
Yeah.
Or your feeling gut body is like, that's really not going to work out for me. So it takes all of those in alignment to really attract the person that you're looking for in the space.
Right. Because I was always attracting, people that were, I would say like the ones that needed help the most, right? That's great if you're, in the job of helping people, but it is not great in the job of relationships. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to, finding someone who's whole and complete in themselves first.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we're talking about all kinds of connections and relationships right now. So we're just gonna kind of move that into romantic relationships, union partners, divine partnerships, sovereign partnerships, non-ownership partnerships, all of those types of relationships that are coming into the space right now, right?
Yeah.
I'd have to say with this is a big one is like, what do you want in a partner? And that's like the biggest thing. Like, what is it at that you're actually looking for in a partner?
Well, I have a very long list. And it started, and my mom will tell you this, right? It was I wanted to meet a man who was a CEO with an MBA who drove a BMW. It was like all the acronyms, right? It was very superficial list. And but now it's getting to the point where it's like I want someone who has the same like values and would be a great parent and but like a great partner to me and just someone who's fun and help us elevate our game because we're playing this really big game and I want to keep growing. I want someone who's going to support and champion the things that I'm up to in this world instead of bringing me down because of insecurities or, you know, concern that I may make more money or might have a bigger job or whatever, right? Like I want someone who can lift me up because I want to do that for the person in my life too.
Absolutely. And there you go. Is everything lined up with your gut?
We're good. We're good. And what's so interesting is just the conversations I've been having with you over the past year. The nervous system has never really been a conversation point for me before until talking to you and really learning to check in with your body. Like, is my nervous system a contributor to pushing something away?
Yep, yep. I mean, I would say it's the biggest factor in embodiment right now and
Yeah.
allowing soul energy to fully come in so that you can actually walk the path and not be kind of disconnected or half-ass manifest or it's you want to walk your full manifestations, and that does happen right now in the nervous system. Like really, really consistent work with, is my nervous system holding me back? What programming is still stuck in there? Is it able to receive that much? And I had a lot of stuff moving through my system with that, so I've had to consistently work with it, even on a day-to-day basis, where it's like, nope, I'm not open to receiving that today. And I'm like, okay, so we have some work to do internally.
Well, what work do you do? How do you get yourself prepared? Because
I mean,
you seem like you've got it all together. Like you've got this great relationship in your world. And so
I
like
do. I do. Honestly, I want to say with the whole relationship piece, it was allowing my body and my nervous system to drop any type of protectors or any type of controls that would have had prior to in prior relationships of thinking it's going to be the same thing. Because I had that same one. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that again ever. Right? And I worked consistently with my nervous system to see where in my system, where are my organs even tied to these parts and pieces of me where my soul information is coming in, but I can't seem to align to it because I can see that my soul is wanting to open the space up to that. My body's not wanting to bring the information, so obviously I have something stuck there. Okay. I had to go in very intrinsically and say, okay, body, where are you stuck here? And what organ is this tied and attached to? And I had to do that like on a daily practice, like really dive in there and say, how can we regulate this nervous system now? And how can I open up the space? Until one day it just drops and is like, all right, I'm ready now. And I'm like, oh, are you? You're ready? It took that one day of fully saying I'm ready. The next day, my partner came into view.
oh my gosh, ugh, that's amazing.
So, yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'll be open to it, but I'm going to also let it go. Here's the things that I'm looking for. I'm a very sovereign being with very sovereign energy, and I want them to be the same. I want them to be doing their own work, be consistent with themselves. I'm not here to fix, save, um, any of those things in any partnerships that I've had before. I don't want a relationship type of status where, it's been old relationship patterns, where it's ownership type base. I don't want that. I would like our sovereign freedom, and I want us to work together in a union. I do not want a mirror, okay? I don't want that anymore. I want a balance,
Yeah,
okay? And I had that kind of running for a good period of time. And when this was in alignment, my body knew it immediately, and so did my partner.
that's so beautiful. I love that.
So it's there, everybody.
It is there, but what about for those folks who feel like they've put themselves in that situation where they're clear about what they're looking for? They put it out there, they know what they want, they know what they don't want, but then there's this thing called divine timing.
Yep, I was gonna say divine timing is next into play. That's gonna be the case.
Yeah, because I feel like that's my friend right now is divine timing.
Yep, yep, yep. That's the next piece. There's quite a few pieces to this. Am I allowing myself to open up to something like that first and foremost? Is my nervous system and my trauma or any of my like childhood wounds surfacing that I need to take a look at? That's part of my attraction point, right? And then once I work through enough of these phases, then it's surrender. Can I surrender to when that's gonna be, what that looks like, even who that looks like? Can I open myself up to that space? And when you're in the surrender phase, then it could be a period of time before it's the right timing. But as long as your body knows and you know that it's a timing thing, that it's going to come into play, then you can let the rest go.
Yeah. Yeah, and kind of when you're talking about let the rest go, to me, what I was very present in thinking was like all of those gifts, I'll call them gifts from the past, whether they were unwelcome gifts or welcomed, either one, because there's always good experiences in all of it.
Sure.
But all of those experiences that kind of really prepared us to the next level, because there's gifts even in sort of the difficult moments. And I'm not talking about like abuse or any of those kinds of things, because that stuff just should not be tolerated in any way. And I know a lot of people do end up in those types of experiences, but to really kind of see the blessing in how you were pushed through adversity, how you were pushed through the
Absolutely.
struggle, how you were pushed through the most difficult, darkest times that you could just crack open because you needed that pressure to really burst yourself open in a totally new way that you weren't willing to do had you had the easy path, had you had the life of, relationships were easy since, the day you graduated high school and everything is great and, you've got this beautiful family and the picket fence and whatever, or whatever you choose to have, right? Not
Right.
everybody likes picket fences, um, but for those of us that are called to this path of growth, we're not
Yes.
going to have it easy up front. We're going to have these negative patterns that show up. But really, it's to totally open ourselves up, to have that massive amount of growth, to move us into the next stage. That when we are ready for that divine union and that partnership,
Yes.
oh my goodness, could we have ever have allowed ourselves to have that earlier on? I can
Yes.
speak for myself. The answer is no.
No.
Because if you were a great guy, I'd be like, goodbye. You're not a troublemaker. You're not a dumpster fire. I'm not attracted to you. So, but now, like I want that beautiful co-creation partnership where things are great, and I don't think I could have allowed myself to have it earlier on. And that's where that pressure, that intense heat, that
Yep.
conflict really needed to kind of like be enough to kind of burst me open for that growth.
Oh, totally, totally. And I have to say, specifically for myself, knowing what my soul came down for, even when I was little, I knew that. I knew I was going to head into some rough spots. It was intensely rough. I didn't have anything easy running through there. Really, really, really intensive lessons coming into this. I'm going to call it alchemization from my last relationships into this one, where all of those facets of the cellular memory, aspects that are lifetimes of junk that have been there for a good period of time was able to come into alignment. And I'm like, oh yeah, so here's what I actually deserve, which is not that. And I'm never going to do that again. Once that was in alignment, my nervous system was regulated enough to be like, oh, this is what I actually received. It is not without like, going through hard stuff in a relationship and things like that. It is, can I be with my partner and be slightly bloated today and be like, oh my God, I am feeling this way. And
It's
my partner
hilarious.
going, Yeah, no, I get it. You're gorgeous and you can feel that way and that's okay. And I'm okay doing that, right? It's, can I be fully authentic with my person?
Yeah.
Can I go to deep spaces? Can I cry? Can I have shit fly up? Can I be in amazing spaces too? Can I receive all of that in union with my partner? And I would have to say yes with my partner. It's absolutely stunning what we have the ability to do together. So,
Love that. And what prepares us for relationships are really our formative early years with our parents, because that's really our first relationship. And so interesting to see the themes and dynamics that come from our relationships with parents to see how that surfaces in relationships across the board.
for sure.
Is there anything that comes up for you with that?
I mean, personally, it's how deep can you dive into your mama and papa wounds, right? How are you raised? What does that look like? What was your platform for a relationship then? And how much of you mimic that in these other relationships, right? What does that look like? And now knowing that and completely tearing that down, because that really kind of is what it takes if we're looking at these energetic partnerships that are coming in a new way, right? It's all that's gone. We don't have that anymore. It goes into how much can I literally receive here? Can
Mhm.
I let myself be loved that much? Right? Can I give that much too?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
totally different platform.
I would say my ability to give love was on a completely whole new level when the moment my son was born. Like I never knew I could love in that way
Got it.
before before him. And it's that like that makes me teary to think about like what a gift to be able to truly, truly feel and give love in that same moment.
Absolutely.
And if
Agree.
we can have that across the board in all of our relationships, that is powerful.
That is absolutely powerful. And then we have the communities that we're looking for. We have the money flow that we're looking for. We have interacting with each other in ways that are actually beneficial to the planet versus not, right? And that all comes from our very deep internal work. But I do have to tell you, we're getting to those spaces where we can be able to do that. Like it's coming into play.
Yeah, I can see it. Well, you brought up money. That's an interesting relationship.
Indeed.
Let's
Money
go
alone.
there.
how is your current internal process and energy around money?
Oh my God, it's way better than relationships. I'll tell you that. Okay, here's what's amazing right now. Okay, so I've made lots and lots of money. I've lost lots and lots of money. Like, talk about ebb and flow. It's bonkers. But I've been working a lot on the ability to receive abundance. And I listen to a lot of affirmations. I listen to a lot of things to kind of help my nervous system get attuned to it. And I've been super, super hyper focused on, this change over the financial system. So I absolutely love it. Like to me, I have this relationship with money where it's different than just like a means to an end. It's sort of this access point to just massive opportunities of being able to, share with others and co-create with others. And so I see it as sort of money as sort of the byproduct to having the fun of what you wish to create. And as I've been kind of in that mode right now, okay, so over the weekend, I went to an electronics store with my kiddo and one of his buddies because, we're walking around. It's a Saturday afternoon um and he's like, "Okay, let's go to this electronics store." Well, I wanted this Google Dot for my kitchen so I could listen to music and stuff. And so I was very specific that I wanted to get the Amazon Dot. Okay. Like the Hey Google, right? Oh, I shouldn't say that too loud because it'll actually go, yes. Um, but anyways, so I walked into this store and I couldn't find it. And I was like, oh my God, that they have other brands like Amazon, but they didn't have like the Google Home Dot thing. And so I went to this guy and I was like, oh, I'm really sad. I can't find the Google Dot. And he goes, oh, we don't sell it anymore, but I know this sounds weird, but can you give me 2 minutes and I'll be right back? And I'm like, okay, like, because I had it on my list. I've been really excited about it. And he comes back with this Amazon Dot in a box. And he
Yeah.
goes, here you go. I go, well, how much do I owe you for it? He goes, we don't sell it anymore. They don't make it anymore. It's been sitting in my car for a week. I was going to actually recycle it, but since you asked for it, here you go. Like, have a great day. And I was like, oh, I gave him a hug. And I was like, yay, I got my Google Dot. And I'm so excited. And then today I went to go sign for tax returns, because I waited until the last minute through my extension and everything. And I'm getting this like really big refund that I did not count on because
Nice.
I'm just getting back into the financial flow again after, kind of being out of work for a hot minute. And it was a big surprise for me. So what I'm very present to is the receiving of things, how abundance is coming in different ways to test my nervous system to make sure I can receive it because the more I'm able to receive, the bigger the blessings are going to be because they're going to be really, really big when this whole system kind of shifts.
Totally. Yeah, I would say that's exactly what that is. Great examples. It's like tiny little testers that you and your soul are popping out. It's like, oh, look, here's a random. Someone's going to give me a donation or a gift. Can I hold that? Can I receive it?
Mhm.
Can I hold it without needing to give anything back? Right?
Well, I gave him a hug.
There you go. Well, without expectation. How about that? Without
Yes, there was nothing after the hug. Yeah, exactly.
What is not my partner.
No, 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 it wasn't. But how about
Yeah.
you? How's your relationship to money these days?
Really, really, really good. Pretty magnificent actually. I have a chat with it every single day. I mean I chat with it like it's a partner, right? It's like one of my best friends. I get to talk to it, I get to chat with it. It always has my back. Uh,
Nice.
but it has been can you handle this much? And I've been like, yeah, okay, I can handle this much. And then they just get bigger and bigger. Can you handle this much? Woof. I have to hold that and breathe for a second, but yes, I can handle this much. And they do just keep getting bigger. And it's really allowing yourself to get it from any type of format, from anybody, no matter
Mhm.
what that is. Okay. You don't know what the line is, so keep yourself open to everything possible,
Mhm.
right? And then telling your nervous system, yes, I can hold that, and I'm ready for more. Yes, I can hold that, ready for more now. And you just see how much more can come into the space because it comes in.
Yeah. But you know what's really interesting is I was having a conversation with a friend of mine and I said, okay, you have $1 billion. Now what? Can you answer the question? Like we chase, 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 chase. $1 billion landed in your bank account. Now what? What do you do with it?
That's a good one. That's a good one. Honestly, what I would say is, yep, I can hold that. I can do some more. I wouldn't disperse it right away. I would just hold it and be like, I'm gonna see how that feels right now. It's feeling pretty good. Guess what? Guess what? I can hold more.
Yeah. But see, that's why we're going through so many tests in our world right now, is to make
Right.
sure that we've got that foundation and to know that we've got the right people in our world. Because when that shows up, when that grand abundance shows up, do you feel obligated to give it away? Do you feel, like bad because you have it and someone else doesn't? Like, how do you feel about it?
Right, and that's going to really be your magnitude or what you're attracting in too.
Yeah.
If you got to give it away, obviously you got a construct in there. Can you hold it? Can you give it away, but with, this is what I want to do because I'm excited about it and I know it's going to come back to me, right? There's a whole different attitude to that. So I would say for everybody watching this, like test yourself. I know there's testers coming in, but see what's coming up when you receive money or receive in general. How do you feel about it? What are you doing about it? How's your internal rhythm work with it? And then can you hold it? Can you
Hmm.
receive more of it? And then can you give without having expectations back or feeling like you had to do it or feeling, any of those things that come up with it,
Right.
burdens, you know? So
Right.
I'm excited to see where more of these pathways lead because I really feel like right now I'm going to open myself up to any possible pathway or route this could take without
Yeah.
having to do a lot,
Yeah.
right? I don't have to do anything for it.
No, because it just shows up.
It
Like,
just shows up. Yeah,
or
exactly.
just ask for it, right? Like I didn't know the Google Dot would be there. I did ask for it, but I had no intention of walking out with it for free. I mean, that was amazing. So, like, I think the challenge right now is to find things that are showing up in our lives. I think you kind of mentioned this. Find things that are the test and see it for the test and acknowledge the test and go, thank you, test. Oh, that's great. I'm glad I passed that test. Now I can't wait to see what the next one is because the next one's going to probably be a little bit bigger or a little bit
Right.
different.
Right, right, right. And with those tests coming in, try to settle into gratitude for the test coming in because it is only going to get bigger as long as you recognize that, oh, that's it. What do I need to do about it? What's my action step, right? Is it to receive? Do I need to speak up for myself? Because yours was like, do you have any of these? I want, I would like one, and I've definitely had to be in that space too, where I'm like, no, I absolutely need this, and it's like, okay, I'm like, fine, I just test myself, I got it to work out. So, is it letting go of somebody that's not working for you, right? Is it moving? All of those things do correlate with how much abundance you can hold.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what comes up next and where we're going. Any kind of glimpse into, we're in a government shutdown, silver's at an all-time high, gold is crushing it. Like I love just sitting back and going, "Oh, I just made a bunch of money this afternoon just as I
Yep.
watch the numbers go up." So, kind of any glimpses that you kind of see in terms of where we're headed?
Honestly, I want to say to this is first and foremost, anchor in what you have right now. And it's only going to increase. And I feel like that is going to increase with all of our outward things that we're seeing with the money coming in, the gold to silver increasing. I only see that increasing. So, that's my perspective, and I want everybody to look and feel into that themselves. But anchor yourselves into a very stable space because right now is about stability. Can I be stable right now? Because it's the money coming in is going to need that stability.
Hmm.
And what do you need to do to be stable? What does your body need to do to be stable? What kind of friends do you need in your parameter? What kind of co-creators do you need to help you stay in that stability space? Because we're all looking at that coming in, and if we're doing it together, it's only going to be that much greater.
Well, and I love the shift that I just had as I'm listening to you, that we all sit here and go, we need money, we need money. Well, what if money needs us and we need to be
Totally,
its anchor and we need to be
totally,
its stability? So be as rock solid in your heart and in your head and in your world and
exactly,
just
exactly.
all of it. Be that stable platform that money needs to come find us.
Right, right, right. And we're looking at now, my conversation with money is an everyday thing. And really what it said, I would like to have a really good partnership with you. And what I want to do that is for you to look at me differently than anybody's ever looked at me before. Right?
Ooh,
I've been
that's a good one.
used, right? I've been in the midst of chaos. I've been passed around like it ain't no thing, like a dog. I don't like those things. Okay. I
Yeah.
don't like it. So, for me, that was like, okay, I'm going to work in being a quantum game changer, which is how can we shift these systems and how can we stabilize them within our system? And he's like, I want you to just stay there, stay with that frequency, and know that I want you to see me as someone who is supportive. I want to be with you, but I also don't want the bullshit that I've been seen as before.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, that's like a perfect explanation put at the end of here's how I want you to see me and here's how I value myself because here's how I see myself first. And this is
Exactly.
what we expect of others as they have the privilege of entering into your space and entering into mine.
Exactly. And in doing so, obviously, I had to shift my own worth, right? I had to shift my own worth, my own value, how I viewed myself in the space. Because obviously, if I was interacting with money like that, that's how I thought about myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And I know that's how I felt about myself too in my past.
yeah,
Not and it wasn't great, right? And that's what I've really had to double down on and really work to improve. And it just outwardly reflects on everything, whether it's relationships or money or experiences and opportunities and all of that.
exactly.
That's the all of it because it all starts within us because everything outside is just a mirrored reflection of how we feel about ourselves on the inside.
Totally. So I'm excited for everyone. I'm going to see if you want to jump on before the month is done and do some cards on both of those things.
Yes. Yeah,
And
let's do
we
that.
can get moving on that, and then we can double anchor it. And then I think we should just keep anchoring it and going with it.
Yes, yes. Let's be that solid anchor for others to be able to kind of help anchor into and be
Totally.
that platform. So I love that. Well, what a great, inspiring conversation as always. Any parting words from you, Z?
All I would say first and foremost to myself first is I'm grateful because everything is coming in exactly like how I'd want it. And I'm creating it myself. And for everybody else who's listening, there is a timing to everything. And as long as you are keeping up with your own personal work and you're deciding that you want to receive and you want to be in a space where we all get to have a piece of this together, then you're going to be in the right spot.
Well said. Well said. All right. Until we meet again.
All right. Love you guys. Bye,
All
Jen. Love
right.
you.
Love you too. Bye.